let me bring in a couple of photos here. I feel famous. So I'm going to pop my memory card in, pretend this is another memory card right out of my camera. And hopefully Lightroom's import dialog will pop up, because import means to add files into our index. In this case, again, I can't index the files on my memory card, because what happens when I take the card away? So Lightroom knows that it must copy these files from the memory card to something. Now we can copy them as they are, or we could copy and convert to DNG for that talk this morning. But either way, copy is copy, right? A copy has to go into the computer. So the button that I must drill into you is, where will the copy go? The thing to look at in here is not the photos in the middle, right? In fact, I would prefer it if Lightroom showed it this way, where you can't even see the photos on the memory card. Because at this stage of the game, what your photos look like is far less important to where are they going inside your computer. They might be the most beautiful photos ever, but if you put them in some random folder that you will never remember, they'll be lost. So it's this. It's the where will the photos go. That's the key button in the import dialog. Everything else in here, I'll bring it back the way it usually looks, everything other than this, we can change later in life, right? Everything other than where they got copied, how they were renamed, whether they're DNG, whether they were divided by the year, month, and day, we can change all that. But put them someplace, put them on the wrong hard drive, we potentially lost them. Does that make sense? So I have to force you, with every card, I'm going to say, look up here. Right? I wish this was the glowing part in here. It's the end of the path. And that's why I like to have a folder whose name I created, like Avi's photos, like photos go in here, Kara's photos. Put them into a folder that only you could have created. And you'll know they're in the right place. So in this case, they're going exactly where I want them. I'm going to go ahead and hit import, and it will copy these guys right off the memory card. Now, once they're copied off the card, and once they're safely into my computer, the question came up, what do I do with these memory cards once everything's copied in? What I do is I copy them to my computer, and then I have a backup. For those who were there last night, I have backups of my computer. Once I'm convinced that they're in the computer and in the backup, this memory card can go back to my camera, and I can format it or delete all in the camera. But it's the camera for me, only the camera, that adds to or subtracts from my memory cards. Does that make sense? The computer can copy them, but the computer doesn't put anything on them. The computer doesn't take anything off them. That's the camera's job in my world. And my favorite button for that, like in Kara's camera, is the format button. Because format wipes the memory card completely clean. So my advice is copy them to your computer, make a backup, then when you're convinced they're there, wipe out the copy on the card, shoot new ones, so we don't have to keep buying more cards, because that gets expensive. And because these are meant for temporary storage. They're not meant to be archival. They're a temporary storage device only. Cool?